Pretty well last weekend, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend, and glad. I had the success, but we went 1-3, so as happy as I could be a lot happier if we won.
Yeah, first series loss, obviously. How would you assess the mindset of the team right now?
I don't think anyone's necessarily too worried about it. I think we're more just focused on UC Irvine this weekend. It's baseball, so weird stuff's going to happen.
What do you feel like you guys maybe learned? Obviously there were some struggles, there were some issues. Do you feel like you found something out that maybe you needed to address before heading to this weekend, or was it just one that, again, you just feel like we move on to the next? It wasn't us, it was just...
Yeah, I think it's just more move on to the next. Can't win every single baseball game, so going about it in the right way. And baseball's such a game where you kind of got to focus on pitch to pitch. So focusing on the next pitch, which is first pitch on Friday, is kind of where we're at.
How do you guys feel about facing UC Irvine? Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the country. They're coming to your guys' home turf. How do you feel about facing an opponent like that in Goss this weekend?
Yeah, I know it's a tough place to play in Goss, and we love to win here. So I think a lot of the guys are comfortable and ready to go compete with a little bit of fire lit under their butt.
After you hit 3 home runs in a game, are you surprised they're still giving you stuff to hit the next day, or?
A little bit. I don't think they were necessarily giving me much to hit all weekend, but the mistakes left up in the zone I was able to capitalize on. So, but when you have guys in lineup like Trent, Iva, Easton, Craig, those are all other dangerous guys that they have to worry about as well. So it's not like they can necessarily just pitch around me. So that helps.
Where were you at before that series with just 3 bombs? Were you fine with everything, or were you waiting for it to come? Because it's obviously behind your normal pace.
Yeah, no, I was honestly completely fine with where I was at. I have an internal process that I kind of follow, like my own internal voice, and I knew I was in a good spot, whether I had home runs or I didn't. The goal is to be a big league all-star one day. So when you're getting better day by day and you can see that, I was perfectly okay with where I was at, so I was not worried at all.
I talked to you a couple weeks ago about going the other way. How have you seen that progress? Like, where are you at with your approach and pushing it to right?
Yeah, it's nice because now you can, if it's on the outer half of the plate, I'm very comfortable with going at it and putting a damaged swing on it. Whereas last year I was trying to pull that outer half pitch. And when I'm trying to pull that outer half pitch, it makes me susceptible to the off speeds down, and so it's a lot more comfortable feeling this year.
And I think 3 of your 5 bombs were center or to right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of an illustration of where you're at now.
Yep, for sure.
What does the internal monologue, the Gavin Turley internal monologue, sound like? What are you telling yourself?
It's more just kind of. Just like evaluation of myself, of where I'm at, kind of what pitches I'm swinging at, and how I'm getting out more than and how I'm succeeding. So just kind of looking at it from an outside perspective, looking in and keeping it level on that sense, making sure I'm controlling the variables.
Gavin, this season's been a whole lot different than what Oregon State baseball's really ever faced. Just being an independent, the teams you guys have been facing. Just what has this season been like so far for you guys, and how do you feel like facing all the different competition has maybe helped you guys differently than maybe what it would have in years past when you were facing Pac-12 opponents week in and week out by this point in the season?
Yeah, I feel like the competition is the same, if not better. Going through it, I've gotten 3 different travel years. All 3 years been here. You kind of back then you used to hop back and forth from year to year, stadium to stadium, but. Honestly, I think it's exciting. We get to see new places and play in different places, and the different competition and different types of people we get to play is fun. Definitely a different scenery of baseball that we haven't seen before, but like I said, you got to control what you can control and go about it in the right way, and I think that's all we're kind of focused on.
How do you think that maybe helps you later on when it comes to postseason ball? Do you feel like this situation you guys have dealt with this season maybe helps you?
For sure. I think a lot of teams haven't gone through what we've gone through. A lot of questions there are around our program, I think it goes to show that we can control what we can control. So the fact that we go about it in the right way when the big moment comes up, or we're playing somewhere where we don't necessarily want to play. I mean, that's what we've been doing it all year, so it's nothing new to us.
Getting back to you going the other way more, did your off-season work and everything, did it change the way you approach when you step to the plate, your approach? Like, did it change? Are you different now than you were?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, last year there's times where I just kind of crowd the plate and try to pull every ball, because that's all I had, whereas now I can really go after a ball that's on the outer half, if not a ball off, and do damage with that. So I can look for that pitch now, especially like in a 1-0 count. If I'm going to get a fastball, it's not going to be a middle fastball. It's going to be a middle away fastball. So being comfortable with that is huge for me.
Have you seen a difference in how pitchers are approaching you?
I haven't really looked into it much.
I guess feeling-wise, I mean, you step to the plate, you feel it?
No, not necessarily much. I'm also not really thinking about that, so yeah, not much.
Yeah. And you're not a big you don't do a ton of research. I mean, you just kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's analytics that can be used, especially like at the end of season or preseason, like kind of going into it. But I mean, as of right now, it's hit the ball where it's pitched, and see ball, hit ball. Yeah. Keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah. And I guess what are the benefits you've seen with the new approach, like from last year, say game 1 to now? How has it helped and expanded your
Yeah, I think my chase rate's down, my strikeouts are down, so being able to get that outside pitch and see it deeper allows me to see all the pitches a little bit deeper and just kind of trusting myself. So from that standpoint, I think the consistency of what I can do on the field and help the guys win is up this year.
It'd be nice to have Keljo back. I mean, how would you describe having him back at the?
Yeah, a big lefty Friday night guy is awesome to have. So I mean, having him back at home, I'm expecting to come out fiery as ever, fresh as ever, and ready to go. So.
As a hitter, you watch him and Eric, and that's sort of a unique thing to have a tandem that's every Friday night. When you put yourself in a hitter's shoes, what challenges does that bring when you got basically 2 starters coming at you for most of the game?
Yeah, it's not fun at all. It's definitely not fun as a hitter, especially if you're coming off of a rougher week prior. You're like, all right, well now I got to have a good weekend. You're kind of thinking, but and then you got Keljo and Segura coming at you. It's just like, you can't catch your break. So it's definitely not fun, especially when it's a lefty. You're trying to adjust to Keljo's stuff. Then Eric's coming at you from the other side with the low slot and from the far right-hand side. So as a hitter, it's 2 completely different swings sometimes. So it's tough to adjust mid-game like that.